So it's 10:04. There's 10 toes on the square. Um, this is raising consciousness. This is not supposed to be easy. That's the title. It's also a direct statement of fact. Raising consciousness is never been intended to be easy. It was never supposed to be easy. It was never intended for it to be easy because the caterpillar can't come out of the cocoon as a butterfly until he tear the whole cocoon off. Otherwise, he's still a butterfly, still a caterpillar trapped in the cocoon. The struggle of removing the cocoon is his way of showing how he is capable of handling his life as a butterfly. That's after the transformation. But in HAYES, we call it the cave of the ancient. So, the cave of the ancient, let me see who's in here. Okay, give me 1 minute. I just had to make sure I see who in there so I know who first. The cave of the ancients, or the cocoon, however you want to look at it, was written about by Rampati Lab Singh, and the ancient priests used to go to the cave while they do their fasting and their meditation and their training as a priest. And they couldn't leave the cave unless one of the princesses came and got them, or a priestess or high priestess came and got them. But whatever they come and get him for, as soon as the underlying cause is met, then he got to go back to the cave until he's finished with the work. All right. So, in the course of the transformation, it's not supposed to be easy. Be the way they want it to be, because it don't unfold. We didn't talked about this before. Because it don't match their preconceived notion about the rollout and how it should look, then they believe that it doesn't happen, or it's not happening, or that the people that's telling you is taking place and showing you what's happening in real time, the person don't understand process. Process is the accumulation of things in a specific order in order to roll out the whole shebang. You can't roll it out if you don't take the steps necessary. So at General Motors, what we like to call it is it's a layered build, right? It's a layered build, and they have to go through varying departments before the vehicle come out a full vehicle at the end of the line. The people in the trim section don't get frustrated because when the car is leaving trim, they don't see a completed product, because they understand in the process, before it could be a finished product, it has to go to chassis. You got to go to chassis, have the drivetrain and things put in chassis. Motor drops in chassis, right? But in trim, you only do the trim portion of the vehicle. When you got different people putting hands on the vehicle, they can only do the part that's within their realm of control. Excuse me, y'all. It's in their realm of control, or in their underlining team to perform. Some people put in the body harness. The body harness is the wiring network of the car. But you got to put that in before you put the carpet in. Because you can't put the body harness on top of the carpet, because you will be putting things in out of order. You also can't put the seats in before you put the carpet in. And you also don't want to put none of that in without installing your HVAC system that goes under the carpet before you start rolling in. So now as you move back, you have to have the lining placed in what they call a dash mat before you put the dashboard in. It's called an IP, instrument panel. So it's a layered build on a project. Everybody got to do their particular part. But at the end of the line, a whole car roll off, and no one person from the time it left the body shop being put into pieces through the paint shop, through the trim shop, through the chassis shop, rolling off the final line, no one individual can say, I built that car by myself. Because everybody on the line, from body shop to final process, then probably had their hands on that car. That's a lot of hands on one vehicle. So when you look, that's just building a car. When we building a new reality, a new tomorrow, we didn't like the paradigm given, so we decided to reject the bullshit. We no longer wish to be enslaved. We no longer believe that the wicked should should benefit for the suffering of the righteous. No longer shall the righteous be, no longer shall the righteous be held in reprisal for the indignation of the wicked. That means that if he did the dirt, he can't offer the sacrifice of the righteous to redeem him from the dirt because he got to pay for his own shit. That's that Anunnaki shit. They will trade your ass for being good to conceal the dirt that they done. They call that a sacrifice, offering up a sacrifice, right? As the blood of the righteous shall not be spilled in vain, we going into the new world. No longer shall the blood of the righteous be redeemable by the dirty deeds of the wicked. Now, the only redemption is everybody got to do their own shit. Once you understand that rule has been changed, now you can start to apply pressure to your oppressors to get their foot off your neck. Yep, no more scapegoats. No more patsies. No more fall guys. No more coat seavers. No more cat's paws. That ISIS wisdom bitch ass shit. So, you have to understand that the process, the difficulty in raising your consciousness is what causes the elevation in the consciousness, the difficulty, the resistance. Because if you are weak-hearted, you're supposed to buckle under the pressure of the difficulty, and that shit'll leave your ass laying where you standing at, and ain't nobody beating touch you because you can't do your own function. You can't perform your own life work, right? And so now you got a lot of people that done been up close and personal and watched draw answers out of the ethers in their face, in their physical presence, and they still confused. They still confused. They want to blame everybody because they weak, insufficient, no business born, monkey back. Don't understand the difficulty is part of it. You have to be long suffering because you got to last as long as it takes. How long is that? How long it take? You can't put a time frame on the changing of a global government from some dirt that's been going on all these years, and then all of a sudden the shit just supposed to be smooth in the morning. It's a process. It's a step-by-step process. It's a layered build of consciousness that wakes up the consciousness to others. Each one teach one, we all gonna reach some, you know? And the more we reach, the better we teach, and the better we teach, the more we reach. So keep reaching for the stars and we'll find out who the fuck we are. But don't let the difficulty be an obstacle, because the obstacle is the way. You overcome the hard shit. So mama said, where there's nobody talking about you and ain't nobody trying to tear you down and degrade you, you ain't doing something right. But soon as you try to do what's right, the lazy, the entitled, the selfish, the self-centered, um, the downright trifling, all of them is gonna be mad at you because you don't fit in the category they in, and they can't understand how you are coming up in a presence, and they can't see where you'll come up coming from, but they can feel the velocity of the rise in their face. They can feel the whole weight and force of your rise, even when they don't see it happening, and they can't understand why is this doing this shit. Because he take the good with the bad, right? He took the right and the wrong, the good and the bad, the truth and the lie, and he didn't pick sides with none of that shit. That's the only way you can see it straight. As soon as you pick sides, you're looking at it at an angle. And once you're looking at an angle, they can trick you at that point, revision up. The sidereal vision of the collateral attack cannot be seen unless you can see straight. And what we mean by see straight, that means follow the Sirata Mustaqim. That's why they say the blind leading the blind, lest they lead themselves to a ditch. They don't know what's on the side of the road. They can't see. So a bunch of motherfuckers that can't see is trying to tell other motherfuckers that don't want to see what they see, and ain't none of these motherfuckers seeing nothing because it ain't producing nothing. You know your value when you do something from a genuine place, and because of the genuine nature of it, just because the general nature of it, it makes it valuable. It makes it valuable where somebody can take what you give away for free and they can monetize that shit. They can start a YouTube channel. They can start a Patreon. And they can do a little bit of their own work and increase the value of the context and the content that's been freely given to the public. But everybody should be compensated for their work. I'm not doing this for compensation, because the compensation for me for doing this is to see my sisters get their shit face in the under the spotlight, front stage. Give my sister the Grammy, give her the Oscar, give her the Tony, give her the People's Choice Award, give her the Mother's Choice Award, the Father's Choice Award, the Children's Choice Award. Whatever you got that belong to her, just give her shit, and we gonna all be happy. But if she ain't getting her shit, and if one of us ain't happy, ain't none of us happy. Because where we go, we ride together with this shit. It's like Pac said, we might fight amongst each other, but I promise you this, we'll burn it down, get us pissed. So, expect difficulty in your awakening. Don't let nobody tell you they can do the shit for you. Can't nobody do your work for you. A person can give you the answers to your tests, but you have to implement them answers in your life in order for them to even serve you any purpose. Just because you have the answer to the test, if you don't put the answer to the test, it's not answered. Right? So they can give you the answers, but you still got to do the work. That shadow work's some nasty shit. That's why you niggas don't want to do shadow work. It's evil. That shit wicked. That's the devil. Y'all don't even know what words mean. The words y'all be using that be coming out y'all mouth, y'all don't know the definition of the word, the etymology of the word origin. What geographical part of the planet did the word come from? Who invented the word? We don't even know that shit. All we know is we spitting some shit out our mouth. And if you don't know the definition of it, you know what you're saying. But then if somebody come along and tell you what you're saying, you say, no, that ain't what I meant. That's what you said. That ain't what I meant. But it's what you said. But that ain't what I meant, though. What you mean? Well, Yeah, you don't even know shit. You can't even express your own self because you don't know the words you're using and what they mean. And then you wonder why your relationships can't last. Why we can't get along with our significant others. We speak two different languages. Most of the women is speaking feelings, and most of the guys are speaking idiot because they never even picked up a dictionary to look up the words they talk. They don't even know what the fuck they saying. So how you expect your woman to know what you're saying when you don't even know what you're saying? How do you expect your woman to know what you're saying when you don't even know what you're saying? Nigga, go walk around with a dictionary till you master that motherfucker, and I guarantee you, when you be more precise with the words you use and more deliberate with the intent you can express in the language will start working for you. But no, it's got too much work to read a dictionary. Nigga, I done read about 100 and some thousand books, and you want to, including several different dictionaries, lexicons, etymological dictionaries, encyclopedic dictionaries. I done read encyclopedias, Britannica, encyclopedia. I done read all that shit. And you niggas don't even get the grasp of the language so you can properly communicate with the you go to bed with next to every night. And can't have a simple conversation because you don't even know what the words mean that's coming out your mouth. So that's why it's not supposed to be easy. If it was easy, everybody would go for the low-hanging fruit. Because it's difficult and because the conscious raising process is painful. It's emotionally draining until you learn one critical thing about the emotions. That's just your navigation system. If you are in a state of grief and you malnourished, you can't get over the grief until you get your nutrition balanced. That's all. If once you can balance your nutrition, then you can balance the grief. But you thinking that the grief is going to take how long the grief take. Your health, your mineral health, and your physiological form is critical for the overcoming of the grief. When I lost my mama, they thought they lost me. Shit, I was just arriving. Mama was the catalyst, the pain ignition to spark the fire, to come back and tell you who did it. Them dirty Moors, where they came from. They got kicked out of Europe in the Spanish Inquisition. How did they get here? They made a pit stop in some place in North Africa called Almagria, and they came by ships from Africa. And what they do when they got here? They told us that we was that came on the ships and that they brought us all over here because we was they slaves working on Big Mama's farm, and they was calling it the plantation. And they want y'all to believe that shit. Now, we got ships from ancient Egyptian dynasties that sailed over here. They found it. They found Osiris' 5,500-year-old ship. They found the Chinese emperor's ship that's about 12,000 years old. They came over here because in the ledgers of the royal court, it said that they was trading with them across the water with a sunrise. Well, if you in China, the sunrise is in America, just in case y'all didn't know. When you live in China, the land of the rising sun is the Americas, because that's to the east to them. But because we on a European, upside down, backwards, geological, perceptual deception, where we think that the north is up and the south is down, that's why we don't know that the east is west and the west is east. And that's why they talk about the sun rising in the west. The only way that's possible if you can flip it back to its proper orientation. That's why everybody's sexual orientation is because they got their whole geographical orientation, geological orientation, astrological orientation, astronomical orientation. All of those are upside down and backwards. And then they got you playing on the top and the bottom of the chessboard. But you only playing the bottom while they playing the bottom and the top of the chessboard. They playing you on the right side up and the upside down, but you only playing upside down and backwards. They playing you on the straight forward and in the reverse, but you only playing it on the side to side shift. So now this is why y'all can't figure this shit out. Is the first order of business is proper orientation of the psyche. They call it flipping the Lucifer lens, the lens of awareness, enlightenment, waking the third eye, opening the pineal gland, raising the sacred secretion. What else they want to call it? Enlightenment, Christhood. All that mean is that, goddamn it, you can't be tricked no more, and you ain't falling for the banana in the tailpipe. And the next time I come trying to put a banana in the tailpipe, you gonna whoop his ass with the whole goddamn tailpipe system, the exhaust system. Right? You're going to disconnect the exhaust system from the manifold, take the main line that run from the manifold to the muffler and wrap it, and then you're going to feed the tailpipe on the other end of the muffler straight in the asses. That's when you get aware of what these is doing, because when you understand that you got free will to use your free will, but if you don't use it, somebody going to use it for you. I do the shit the way I do it because I'm trying to deliberately not create a cult. I do not want no cult of under me doing they dirt, trying to act like they doing what's right, and then bring me and the whole goddamn community back down again. I will not participate in those foolish shenanigans. That's the dumbest shit in the world to me, and I don't want no parts of it. So I come on social media because the revolution will not be televised. But that shit showing the fuck playing out on social media, we doing the play by play, the step by step, the inch by inch, the little by little. The expose what you see and I show you what I see, and we can see this shit together. Merge your vision with my vision and we can see around the world. That's exactly what's going on. But as long as the mother won't do their work, they can't ride with us. They can't come along. We not joyriding in these stolen cars no more. If we gonna ride in this, let's ride. Or otherwise, I don't want no parts of it. I want no parts of it. 40 laws of power say create a cult-like following. Oh, no. That's how the government gonna come in. It's a reversal to that shit. Remain attainable. Just out of reach of the cult. Because the people with the cult mentality is the ones that's those overly righteous, self-centered, selfish, that don't want to do their own work. If you don't set up cult center for them to converge on, then they don't have anybody to blame for their life but them. And now that they can't blame nobody, they have to stand on their own 2 feet. They stand on their own 2 feet for the first time, they goddamn bunions gonna hurt. They corns gonna swell up. They toes gonna feel funny. They feet don't want to walk right. Because for the simple fact is, they don't want to stand on their own feet. They'd rather ride on your back. Right? So when I want me to address every individual that got some negative shit to say about me, the collective address to them is they can all kiss my ass or they can bump straight. Because I'm the straight bump. So if they don't bump straight, running into the straight bump, they going to get bumped off. And it's not personal. Right? I'm not finna address it with a little attitude problem. Right? Because they can't control me. Because they can't make me do what they want me to do. They can't put me in the box they want me in. I don't fit in no box. I'm not designed to be in the box. Like crabs in the barrel. Everybody worried about the crabs pulling each other back in the barrel. I'm worried about the nigga that put us in the barrel. Crabs in the barrel? Who put us in the fucking barrel? See, while y'all busy fighting each other over who trying to hold each other in the barrel, I'm trying to catch the hen that keep dropping by his wrist and say, hey, y'all ain't got to hold each other in the barrel no more. I got this now. Everybody jump up and use his ass. And as we crawl out the goddamn barrel, we gonna push this much in the barrel. That's the mentality I'm on. I ain't on no go along to get along. We shall overcome. Let's march downtown. March for what? Nigga, we ain't marching nowhere. If you see me marching, I guarantee you something getting tore up when we get there. If you see Rod Hayes marching somewhere, I'm not marching to talk. I'm not marching to negotiate. I'm not marching to ask for a favor. If you see me marching somewhere, nigga, something getting towed up when we get to the destination, out the gate, whoever there, getting their ass towed up. Or I'm not marching. The fuck I look like marching? They did that shit years ago. Shit, the Jehovah's Witness had a million march in the 1930s, Million Man March. Nation of Islam had one in the 90s. Martin Luther King had a march in 63, a march in 64. He marched on Selma. He marched on D.C. Them motherfuckers was doing so much goddamn marching, just watching them gave me jet lag. They was all over marching on some we shall overcome ass shit. And they still didn't overcome. They succumbed to the traitors in the midst. So stop thinking it's supposed to be the way you want it to be. Stop thinking that because it don't look like you want it to look like, it's not happening. If I didn't think this shit was happening in real time, that this matriarch was being raised, these sisters is getting their shit back, these real soldiers are standing up for the sisters, and we pushing the sissy ass niggas to the side, and that all of the tribes are starting to remember who they is. Niggas that used to wear feathers is wearing feathers again because they thought they was from Africa till they had a job. What would you call obscure Negro in some little small town outside of Detroit called Pontiac, and he just so happened to be the chief in this little hometown, most loved, most respected. And he can tell y'all, why are y'all can tell you what to do? This your shit. To wear your full feather regalia, they came in to give you a fez and a goddamn bow tie. They came in to give you a fez with a tie, and you came in to show them that the feathers is superior, and they came in to show you that the fez was superior, so let us all become Moors now. No, we not finna do that shit.
Download the Domino's app today and become a Piece of the Pie Rewards member to earn points.
Not all Moors. Moor is not an ancient term. Morocco is not an ancient country. Morocco is not an ancient nation of our people, an ancient country for our people, an ancient safe haven for our people. And ever since Morocco been around, we've been in slavery for some odd reason. Let's tear that. Watch how free we be when we tear that. Let's go shake up the Al Maghrib. Let's go stir up the muckers in Switzerland. Right? Let's go in upstate New York and drag them out of upstate New York so y'all can see who the dirty players is in these secret societies, because they look like us. They just not us. They don't feel about one another like we feel about each other. They don't love their women like we love our women. Hell, they women don't love theyself like our women love theyself. Hell, they women don't even like to watch fucking cooter bird like our women like to keep their shit up. Right? You can smell a woman coming from a block away. You won't notice ours unless you smell the sweet silicon bath oils. And then they got the right to rule over the righteous sisters who take care and reverence the sacred womb that carries Big Mama energy of creation so that they can duplicate your dumb ass nigga and give you the opportunity to see yourself in your child. But you gotta always remember the bloodline comes through the mama. I figure that, right? If it wasn't for the Y chromosome, nigga, mama's baby, papa's maybe. It might not even be your goddamn baby. Mama's baby, papa's maybe. But you can't guarantee that shit nut that put her there. You can hope so. You can guess so. You can think so. You can desire it. But the truth of the matter is, it's always 100% mama's baby and papa's maybe. Pour this backwards. The women used to leave the babies with the men, and you niggas is too dumb to remember. This wasn't 100 years ago. Women used to didn't want to get a divorce because they didn't want to leave their children with the breadwinner to go find another breadwinner to start another family. That's how that shit go, right? Yeah, X chromosome atrophy shrivels up and becomes a Y. It's missing about a third of the genetic information on a Y chromosome that would normally be on the X. When you look at the Y chromosome, it has what you call an atrophied appendage, which makes one part of the X shrivel up, and then it looks like a Y instead of an X. But at the end of the day, some of you niggas ain't got sissy ass niggas. And then they want to know if we gonna fight a war with all of the men chasing men, pinching booties and shit. And then they don't want you to say nothing because they're gonna have and unleash the whole elemental QSVP, QRZ, ZZ top community on your ass. Let's unleash the gay warriors. In order for some to be gay, then men fight to be men or women fight to be women. But it's not that serious. If you want to be gay, that's your business. Just don't be trying to convert the youth. Why would you convert the children into a lifestyle when in the homosexual community is the convert? That's what y'all don't get. The convert didn't intend to be gay, but he surrendered his predator that turned him out. That shit not cool. It's not cool to put teenagers in prison with grown-ass men that rapes teenagers. They pedophiles, hebephiles, whatever kind of foul, fagophiles, sissophiles. So at some point, the people got to start to wake up and see what's going on around them. You and your people. Because if you don't stand up somewhere, then you might as well sit down everywhere. It got to be some part of the game that you say, no, we not going this route. This is not in the best interest of my children, my next door neighbor children, my cousin's children. This is not in the interest of relatives around the world children. Nowhere on earth is this conversion, mass homosexual conversion of the youth normal. Not only is it not normal, military plot agenda used to usurp the people of the earth so that we don't even know. That's talking around talking about trans men or women too. They can't give you the definition of a woman. If you can't give me the definition of a woman, let's down and pick up a dictionary, encyclopedia, an etymological book, a lexicon, right? Go to the university, study anatomy, genetics, right? Look at the difference in chromosomal structures. The chromosomes say that you're supposed to be born gay. Do you know how few and far that shit is between though? The ones that's born gay is so that when we used to see that shit, we used to look at them and call them two-spirited people. Because you didn't see that shit like you see it now. Now they got whole television. I was a little boy and we talked about drag racing. We was talking cars. We didn't know nothing about putting on no goddamn skirt talking and lipstick. That's some Halloween shit. But y'all don't see what they doing to the minds of the youth. So you tolerating this shit. Everybody got a right, except the children don't got no rights. Nobody's respecting the rights of the child to grow into a competent and wholehearted adult. If the child don't have the opportunity to develop in a safe and secure environment, he's going to be whatever the environment produced because that's all. And they think that shit, and we ain't supposed to. Now, we'll talk about that shit until it comes to its preachers, the priest, the imam, the sheikh, the rabbi, the kohen. Was touching on the kids. Don't nobody want to say nothing because they think God gonna get mad. I'm telling y'all personally what I know for a fact. God don't trust us. God don't want us around these babies. God don't need us around these babies. Them the first ones to run out of the community is the child molesting ass fuckers that call themselves representatives of God. Get rid of them that's in the way. They blocking the door to common sense and freedom. They blocking the door with molested children and raped little boys that they turn into little girls because they know once they penetrate the boy anally and shatter his root chakra, he's no longer fit to rule, because soon as the sacred secretion rises, the shattered root chakra is going to give him schizophrenia, multiple personality disorder. It's going to give him a nervous breakdown, an emotional breakdown, a psychological deviation from the norm, an aberration. That shit not normal. That's why in the Code of Kings, when they call forth your semen, it better not come out of a man, and no man's semen better not come out. That's right in the Sumerian tablets. This shit is old. They already knew this shit when they started converting motherfuckers' kids alternate gender. A 5-year-old is not going to tell. I've been knew I was heterosexual since I can remember. I was too young to fuck, and I wanted some pussy when I was 4. I remember that shit clear as day. I used to see them motherfuckers. Hey, what's up with her? I'm straight as a fucking arrow. Just like my father, the motherfucking Queen Slayer. See, they got terms for all of us. And all of us got different roles, responsibilities, and functions. I'm just trying to get the people across the land to see that since the imposters have been on the land, they've been preventing our little boys from becoming men by anally penetrating them in a buck-breaking process, the same way motherfucking, what's that bitch-ass nigga name? Want some respect on his gay-ass name? Birdman. Birdman hovering over Lil Wayne. Right? The nigga he live in concert. He fucked dudes too. He flat out said it out his own goddamn mouth. And he's turning out them little boys for a record contract. Oh, gay ass, bitch ass nigga. I wish he'd pull up on me. Talking about put some respect on his name. I'll slap that whole 5 off top of his head. Oh, rotten ass, no. And motherfucking secret government witness on motherfuckers and shit. Like we don't know he the number one motherfucking witness in motherfucking, what's the boy that got, Young Thug got indicted in Atlanta? Yeah, this the nigga that's gonna tell on him. The nigga gonna make sure that the RICO case is solid. The motherfucker that's gonna send him upstate wants some respect on his name. Oh, motherfucking homo. Take your ass upstate, homosexual ass motherfucker. It's a bunch of gay motherfuckers up there that you would jam with, right? All you sissy motherfuckers need to be put together in one goddamn boat. Now, that don't mean just because a person's sexual preference is different from mine, I got a problem with them. I have relatives that if you fuck with my cousins, I will beat your ass the same way as you will my sisters or my brothers, because they my cousins and we been jammed. They just like to go suck dick and I don't. But they good people. And they don't fuck with the kids. Because they got fucked with when they was kids, now they fucked up. Right? So since they fucked up now, I don't hold them responsible for that shit because they didn't fuck themselves up. The predators did. The molesters. The sexual motherfucking deviants in the family that they didn't want to cover up because they don't want the good man to do nothing to the bad man. Y'all motherfuckers got to get out of that shit because these new motherfucking sisters is not going to be tolerating the bad man being covered up to protect the good man. In other words, they going to go get a whole group of good men and they going to make them motherfuckers sit down and determine what they going to do with the bad man and how they going to handle it so that the good man not taken from the families. And so expect difficulty raising your consciousness. Expect resistance from people that's outside of you, because when other people sense your consciousness rising, your status level is moving up, people starting to hear what you talking about, they starting to respond, they starting to kick in the genetic memory, dig up the motherfucking receipts. You said this shit, Rod, but look what I found. It's even deeper than that. And they send me more receipts than I already had. These motherfuckers, our enemies, created something called a fucking gay bomb. A gay bomb. Go look it up. Senate hearings on the gay bomb. The Senate hearing on the gay bomb, because they wanted to use the gay bomb. First, they wanted to use it in World War II, but the Senate hearings because they wanted to use it in Vietnam. And they wanted to use this bomb to turn the soldiers and the homosexuals on the battlefield, so instead of worrying about the war, they can be tongue kissing each other and slapping each other on the ass while the American military go ahead and invade them, as if that shit not going to affect their own soldiers. Then they got some shit called a heart attack gun. Right? You want to know why these motherfuckers be having these mysterious heart attacks when they get in perfectly good health? Go research the heart attack gun. You got a motherfucker in there, he's a motherfucking Kimbo Slice, Stone Cold Warrior. But they know if he start to recruiting other warriors that can scrap like him, and they run up in some of these office buildings for their shit, ain't nothing they can do about it, so they got to get rid of that nigga. So they probably shoot him with a heart attack gun. Right? But we don't believe that shit real. We don't be none of the shit these dirty motherfuckers do. They be doing this shit, but we be believing when one of us tell us who's behind it and what they doing. We don't want to accept that, mainly because of who it came from. Not because it's not true. They don't want you, nigga, you. The crazy motherfucker, the black sheep, that little quiet motherfucker, that little nappy head motherfucker, the weird motherfucker, the motherfuckers that's always out there playing with the dogs, climbing the trees, nobody.
YouTube is the new home of NFL Sunday Ticket. Catch our lowest full season price of the year on YouTube and YouTube TV.
I believe that God created you for a specific purpose. He's called you to do something on this earth that only you can do. And there's a lot of people out there waiting for you. A lot of people depending on you.
They can't figure out what this nigga doing. That nigga ain't supposed to know the truth. The lazy motherfucker feel like they should know the truth. They should have it before you do, and they not gonna put in half the effort for none of that shit. Right? They not look. I know some gay people will fuck you up about trying to touch on some kids. I know some gay people that will fuck you up about trying to touch on some kids. Right? One of my favorite people at work was a gay dude. He never hit on me one time. We was jammed. Right? We was jammed. He never hit on me one time. But if I would leave my son with that motherfucker, if I needed a babysitter, because I know that if somebody fuck with my son, he gonna beat their motherfucking ass the same level as I'm gonna beat that motherfucker ass. He's not gonna tolerate it. And he's not gonna do it. Because he already know what it does to the children when they molested. Y'all motherfuckers got to realize it's not about abusing or beating up on people with different sexual preferences because you don't know how they got that way. It's about stopping motherfuckers from converting the children before they even know who the fuck they is. We need to stop promoting any form of sex to the children, let alone gay sex. We need this motherfucker stop fucking around. They don't need... Children shouldn't even be exposed to sexual concepts until they damn near a teenager. There's no way that a little 3-year-old should know something about telling a grown motherfucker about sucking a dick. That shit not normal. It's not right. It's not good for the children. It's not good for the future. Right? So, at this point, we have to look at what's really taking place in front of us. Right? We already know, all of us know 800 motherfucking thousand children a year consistently been coming up missing at least for about the last 25 to 30 years that we know about. Since they've been putting fucking faces on milk cartons. Right? We've been knowing over 800,000 children coming up missing annually in America alone. That's not counting Canada. That's not counting Mexico. That's not counting Venezuela. That's not counting Guatemala. That's not counting Haiti. That's not counting Dominica. That's not counting Jamaica. That's not counting Cuba. That's not counting Grenada. That's not counting Trinidad and Tobago. That's not counting St. Croix. That's not counting Colombia. That's only the United States continental. 800 motherfucking thousand children annually. Why is the number so fucking consistent? Can somebody tell me why the number's so consistent? It don't fluctuate. It don't change. It don't go from 60,000 to 800,000. It's 800,000 motherfucking children annually. That sounds like somebody made a deal somewhere. Somebody got a quota. Somebody got a definite amount of motherfuckers that they can take without having a motherfucking backlash. It's 800,000 a year. You can have 800,000 of our children to torture and to make your adrenochrome, to make your motherfucking baby liver pate, to make your motherfucking baby foreskin motherfucking skin cream, so you can make your motherfucking unholy Mary baby blood and motherfucking wine, goddamn bloody Mary. All of this shit you motherfuckers doing with the children. 800,000 is the magic number not to exceed or decrease below, and the people ain't gonna do shit about it because they gonna be too busy going to work, sending their children to school where they being watched to determine when they gonna get that motherfucker next. They sending their children to school, they going to work, they helping their grandmama, they helping their mama. They doing everything but looking at what's going on in the community and the resolution that brings about the solution to the goddamn grand finale of this shit. Get the fuck off the kids. Protect the children. Stop sending them motherfuckers to the miseducational system because they teaching them wrong on purpose so they can be a slave by default. They teaching them wrong on purpose so they can be a slave by default. If you don't know who you is, then you need to go somewhere and figure out who you is before you deal with the motherfuckers that you can't trust. Because you got to be able to trust yourself. But as long as you don't know yourself, you can't trust yourself either. Because you be done sold your ass out of ignorance because you don't trust what you feel about what you feel. You got to know the self in order to trust yourself, not to lead yourself down a dastardly path of destruction, doom, and gloom. But y'all gonna let these preachers tell y'all about some hell shit after you die when motherfuckers is catching hell in real time on earth in the physical live presence. But you gotta remember, to raise the consciousness is supposed to be difficult. It's supposed to be hard. Because you don't teach your children that you go through hard phases in life to test the grit of who you are. They never prepare themselves for when life gets miserable, hard, difficult. They feel the struggle. They feel the motherfucking pangs of oppression. They know something ain't right but don't know what to do. So they all get scared. They get nervous. They get weak in a moment of weakness. When the odds is most against them, they don't know they supposed to fight harder. They think that they motherfucker just supposed to give up, quit, bow out, surrender, capitulate. Man, fuck that shit. Tell your child life is supposed to get hard from time to time to test you to see what you learned up until that point. When it feel like there is no overcoming the obstacle, just remember one thing. This too shall pass. Right? All of this shit is gonna pass. It's gonna end up in the past. All of the pain is gonna automatically turn into some form of strength if you endure it. The soreness after lifting the muscles is because the muscles is having to figure out how in the fuck do we get stronger for the next time we lift some heavy ass shit. So what the muscles do? They don't quit working on you. They recover, get stronger, work out again, break down, get stronger, recover, break down again. You're doing it on purpose. You're controlling your failure so your failure don't control you. But we don't want to tell the children that because we want them to have a fairy tale view of reality. A motherfucking Cinderella story. A Alice in Wonderland story. A story like Frozen. about an ice princess. But it all boils down to one thing at the end of the day. Everybody gonna go through some difficult shit to determine who the fuck they is. If motherfucking Sleeping Beauty wouldn't have been asleep all that time when she woke up, she wouldn't have been the character that she turned out to be once she became awakened. Right? So when you're looking at forging an individual in the fires of life in order for them to be a benevolent and competent ruler with the interests of the most people in their heart, it's a process the same way it's a process to having your best life. The more work you put in the beginning, the more rewards you're going to receive at the end. And the shit come back like clockwork once you understand what your turnaround time is. You can catch every right bus and you can let every wrong bus pass you by. That's the same with if you in the ocean. You can catch the right sub, which is bus spelled backwards, and every wrong sub can go right up under your motherfucking ass and keep it moving. Don't expect shit to be easy. Don't expect people that you care about and that you love dearly to not talk bad about you behind your back. Because sometimes the people that you love and care about the most is the ones who drag you the most behind your back. It don't mean you don't love them, they don't love and care for you. It just means that they intimidated by who you becoming and they can't stop it nor control it. So now they have to talk about it because it's weighing on their heart heavy and they don't know what to do. And the people that they telling don't know that all they got to do is tell the person that's dragging you through the mud is, why don't you sit down and try to figure out what they talking about so they won't be talking so far over your head that you got to try to pull them down to your level in order to see what level they on, because apparently they not going to dumb down for your dumb ass. So maybe your dumb ass need to wise up for the wise ones in order for you to get your lesson, right? So it's just motherfuckers just want shit the wrong way. They just want handouts. Life ain't never supposed to have been a handout. The goddamn cheetah got to hunt. The lion got to hunt. The gorilla got to forage. The motherfucking buffalo got to forage. The gators got to hunt. The crocodiles got to hunt. The fox got to hunt. The coyotes got to hunt. Right? All of the ones that don't hunt, they got to forage. They got to look for food under the bushes, behind the rock, in the trees, right? Everybody got to function to perform in order to form a functional function. You got a task, you got a job in your life. You're here for a reason unless you don't give yourself a reason to be here. Because if you're here without a purpose, that's because you haven't gave yourself a purpose, and that's how you end up being worthless. What's the meaning of life? It ain't got no goddamn meaning till you give it one. But as soon as you give it a meaning, you find value in it. As soon as you find value in it, you find a motherfucking place in your heart that allow you to understand how to overcome the struggle. Once you overcome the struggle, I'm going to be so glad when I overcome this shit, because when I come down on the other side, these motherfuckers ain't going to be able to hit me in the motherfucking ass with a shiny red apple. They ain't be able to hit me in the ass with a shiny red apple. Get that motherfucker to the teacher, because it won't do no good for me, because you won't hit me with it, right? So apple, they keep the doctor away, and they ain't going to be able to hit you in the ass with a shiny red apple when you endure your own struggle. You don't cry about it. Yes, you do, but you do it in private. But for the purpose of the ones looking at you, you're not crying about it. You're not complaining. You're not bitching and bickering. You ain't mad at the motherfuckers that loved you because they can't control you, right? Or you can't control them. That ain't how this shit go. Everybody go out, learn what you can learn, and teach what you can teach. Each one teach one, we all gonna reach some. And as long as we got this motherfucking desire burning deep down, right? We can come up. We just gotta remember, it's supposed to be hard. It's supposed to be a struggle. Struggle builds strength of character. If you want to be noble character, you have to refine the will and refine your character in the fires of time and education. You have to learn those things that you should know as a ruler. So that just gave me a 2-minute countdown. So all my people that was requesting, I'm gonna finish this one out, and then I'm gonna come in on the next one, and then I'm just gonna be taking all callers. But raising your consciousness is not supposed to be easy, but you can have fun doing it. It can be difficult, but you can turn that shit into fun. Turn all that hard shit into games, right? Because as soon as you start playing the games of life to win the game of life, that's when you take the misery out. And when the misery is gone, you will be avoiding all of the miserable company seekers, because misery love company, right? And it is what it is. So let these motherfuckers know, stay away from the children. Secure the children, stop sending them to the brainwash camp. Then once we secure the children, the men got to secure the women. The women got to start having sister gatherings leave your son with his daddy while you go take your daughter and y'all go meet up with the sisters. Because the energy of the mitochondria will do more healing in 30 minutes than 50 years of straight church would do in a lifetime. 50 years of straight church couldn't give you as much healing as 30 minutes of a sister group among sisters who love and care for one another without motherfucking conditions and restrictions, without the motherfucking deception and deceit, the backbiting and the hate, right? Beware them women that talk about they don't like women. Sniff that bitch. If she tell you she don't like women, see if she smell like sardines. Old
Did you know that you could get 50 to over 150